Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Lazada's Learning Festival. I'm Jayson, one of the design leads over at Lazada Design Studio. Today, I'm really psyched to be here to share with everyone some of the learnings we've had over the past year, improving the experiences across various user journeys on Lazada. Today, you will hear not just from me, but also three of my fellow colleagues that would share how they engage on the most personal level with sellers, logistic workers, and our consumers to create authentic and meaningful solutions for us to stay ahead of the game. I'll begin by sharing how the past year has reinforced a few important things that we've been working on at Lazada Design Studio. And I suppose I can't talk about that without addressing the pandemic or the endemic that has plagued us since early 2020. It has disrupted our lives and changed the way a lot of things are done. The pandemic created a more technology-literate shopper base, which is spending more time online than ever. These online shoppers have gotten more savvy and have higher expectations from e-commerce platforms such as ours. According to a report in Forbes, more global consumers have shopped online since the physical stores started reopening than when they did when stores were still closed. This trend shows that online shopper and their shopping isn't going anywhere, and that the brands need to reassess their digital offerings to create the best possible experience. The stakes are higher than ever before to gain these customers' trust and confidence. At Lazada Design Studio, building that trust and confidence is at the core of what we do. We all know that customer experience is king. We also know that personalization is vital for creating positive customer experiences. Personalization has a big impact on customer experience. For example, a personalization may seek to deliver more relevant products to a customer based on their preference, or engage them on a game that they might enjoy playing, like, Lucky Egg, to get shopping vouchers, or a live stream on Last Live that has captured their attention. Hyper-personalization seeks to hold a one-on-one conversation with each of the customers on our platform. Using data to create a complete 360-degree customer view that seamlessly caters to their needs and desires. This is vital to achieve hyper-personalization. Customer experience moving forward will be hyper-personalized, and shoppers on our platform will need to respond to this fast and effectively. And we aim to empower all our sellers with the right tools to rise to this occasion. Today, I have my teammate Leo from the Sellers Platform team to tell you more about our ongoing dialogues with sellers. So without further ado, Leo, come on in.
Hi, Jayson. Hi, everyone. I'm Leo, a product designer from Lazada Seller Experience team. Thank you for having me, Jayson.
No, good to have you here, Leo. I'm excited to hear from you how we've empowered sellers across Asia to grow their businesses with us, delivering a great experience to our online shoppers together.
My pleasure to share, Jayson. So, as you probably already know, we are always trying to make better seller experience, especially for millions of active sellers in Lazada platform to leverage their business. So, on a daily basis, we always monitor not only our buyer platform, but also our seller platform as well to constantly improve its performance and efficiency. So this keen data crunch have actually led us to recently identify a significant downtrend in our seller satisfaction score.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in one of the most used featured in our seller platform, which is the product management page.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sounds like you have a story to share with us.
Yes, definitely. So the product management page is basically a main function for our seller to manage their daily product inventory operations on Lazada. So every day, seller needs to set up good quality product. They need to update the price of their product, and they also need to diagnose their product performance through this feature. So you can imagine that this is a page that sellers open every day, to run their business in our platform.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
So through this, the daily monitoring that we did, which I mentioned before, we actually learned that despite being the main business driver for our seller, basic operations like managing product, there's like managing variants still actually has a room for improvement.
Right.
Yep. So us being true to Lazada's living customer first approach, we recognize that this is something this is something that needs to be prioritized right away by us, right?
Nice one. Yes, we
exactly.
definitely need to prioritize that because discovering a problem is the easy part. I'm sure the path to getting the solution wasn't always rainbows and unicorns,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
So tell us more, shed some light on what went on in the process of solving this.
Yep, right. So in Lazada Design Studio, we always aim to focus on our seller needs. So we'll listen and we also solve the right problems. And then we always try to avoid, treating our own assumption as our seller's voice because it's a two different thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is why to understand our seller more, we started from the ground up by participating in an event, what we called as Voice of Customer events. So Voice of Customer event is a regular event that held by Lazada to capture our sellers' feedback in around 1 hour interview session.
Okay.
Yeah, so we often do this, and during these sessions, we try to listen and remain neutral to absorb, all of our sellers' pain points as much as we can.
Right.
Yeah. So, oh, by the way, do you know what?
What?
Like, I remember there was one time when we listened to a seller during this event, right?
Yeah.
She actually ranted for about 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah, about
Wow.
all the bad experiences she had
dear.
with the platform. So even though this kind of harsh criticism, is a bit overwhelming for me at first, as a listener.
Yeah.
In the end, I believe it has helped us to understand sellers' end-to-end business process.
Right.
So yeah, ultimately we can align on this, and then we know what we need to focus in the future improvement. So in the end, I would say it's a very fruitful and insightful sessions for all of us there.
Yeah. It sounds like you have gathered pretty good insights from our sellers, and hopefully you have found some solutions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely. So after understanding all these root detractors told by our sellers and analyzing the data that we gathered before, we started to redesign the whole product management design process. So we try to focus more on fundamental usability pain points rather than just give a cosmetic uplift to the existing page. Yep. So learning by this previous design flow, right, we put a lot of attention to fix the page navigation, and you can also see that we improve the information architecture that we presented to our seller. That being said, you can actually still see a quiet design overhaul that was part of the usability improvement.
Leo, I think that's a really good job that you did there because it looks so much cleaner. I like how the tabs, filters, and product listings are much more clear in the way that we have demarked them. It's easy on the eye, and I think it improves navigation on the page.
Well, so glad to hear that, Jayson. So, like the feedback you just gave me just now, we were keen to hear and test the design iteration with real sellers, of course. So, despite being in the middle of pandemic last year, many usability testing across the regions were conducted to determine whether we are on the right track before we finally roll out the design to our sellers. So during these interview sessions, right, we put our sellers' input as a source of reflection.
Okay.
Yeah, and change the design accordingly to, based according to the testing session that we did and our sellers' feedback.
That's really cool. So what do you take away from this journey of improvement?
Let me think. That's very tricky. But I think personally, there are two major things that I learned.
Okay.
So the first one, the journey to create the perfect platform doesn't exactly stop with one design improvement. So admitting that the current design or the current solution is not the best and committed to keep improving it for our sellers what makes the work really rewarding.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think the second part is I learned that a lot of times quantitative data that we gathered before can actually show us what the problem is, but then to truly understand why the problem exists in the first place and how are we going to help our seller through design, we need to speak directly with the sellers themselves. It can be through anything. It could be through in-depth interviews, surveys, usability testing. Yeah, you can mention it. So by doing this kind of stuff, I think we can safeguard the user experience of our platform.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, oh, and do you know what exactly excites me the most?
Tell me. You sound very excited.
Yeah.
Tell me,
So
yeah.
after we released this new design,
Yeah.
we actually got so many positive feedback from our seller.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it was that moment when I realized that, involving our seller in the design process will never go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it eventually it will lead us to a great product experience.
Indeed. I think it's crucial to involve actual sellers in this entire design process because it's to understand what the seller wants, not what we think they want.
Exactly, yes.
Right?
True.
We're constantly working to strike a balance between business sensibilities and actual users' needs to shape the experience. And if you ask me, it's a never-ending design pursuit. Yeah.
Definitely. So this whole project, or like the whole journey, I might say, meant a lot to me. So I feel like it is very rewarding when I help people grow their business, especially through the platform that we develop. So Jayson and everybody here at Lazada Learning Festival, if you find a great deal on Lazada, never forget the amazing sellers behind it and always show them some support they deserve.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I sure will. I think it's a good reminder for all of us here, to make sure we show our support to the sellers.
Yes, definitely. So I think that's all I've got today for you guys.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Leo.
Yep. See you
All right,
later.
I'll see you in a
Bye.
bit. All right. So, empowerment of our sellers starts with a keen listening of their needs. In order for them to serve their customers better, we are always trying to improve and provide them with the best tools with great experience. That way, they can respond efficiently, bringing in the right stock at a good quantity to meet the market demands. Across the global economy, consumers set the bar for what is considered quality service. There is not only a desire for more, but there is also high demand. The increasing demands of consumers are driving a shift from process improvement to customer-focused logistics. Speaking of logistics, to give a fuller picture of how we are delivering more values to customers, starting with our logistics team, I will welcome Stephanie from our design studio to tell you more. Steph, come, join me. Thanks, Steph.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today and sharing your learnings on logistics.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, hi, Jayson. I'm
Hey.
very glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. So, hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie. Thanks for joining us today here. So, I'm a product designer from Lazada Logistics. My team creates products for our logistics workers, starting from picking up goods from Lazada seller's warehouse all the way until our customers' doorsteps. For instance, Jayson, have you used Redmart before?
Have I? Of course I do. Redmart is a lifesaver. I ordered tons of stuff during Chinese New Year, so I avoided having to lug all those heavy cans and food packets home. So I'm very familiar with Redmart.
That's right. Actually, it's the same for me. I ordered a lot during Chinese New Year too.
I'm sure.
It's very handy.
Yeah.
So for those who are not familiar with Redmart, Redmart is an online supermarket under Lazada app here in Singapore. Online groceries are really, really great, especially now that we're living in pandemic times, right? And then where social distancing is like practiced.
Yeah. You can see how far we are standing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did you know that actually there's a lot of people or an army of people behind
Oh,
to make sure that your delivery arrives safely?
I'm pretty sure there is because whenever I'm on the road, I see a lot of vans and trucks on the street here in Singapore. But I'm sure like most people, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Right. I guess people mostly knows about couriers, but what about the rest, right? So for today, let me introduce logistics operations by highlighting two of these delivery heroes from Redmart today, our route managers and our couriers.
Oh, so let me guess. So route managers are the people who plan all those where the vans and trucks go on the roads.
You're
Yeah.
right, you're right.
Okay.
So every morning at the beginning of the day, our route managers create the best, most efficient routes for our couriers. And then our couriers will use them to deliver in the quickest and the greenest way possible.
Mhm.
Right. So this is very important, guys, because in ensuring on-time deliveries for our customers, without the route managers, our couriers will not be able to cover as much ground and deliver to as many customers as it is today.
Sounds like you know them pretty well. Have you ever gotten a chance to work with them or spoken to them?
Well, actually, I have,
Mm-hmm.
because we are always encouraged to put ourselves in our users' shoes. And as empathy for them is our core value, especially in design, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So actually, yes, I have been to the warehouse to observe how they work.
Ah, to the warehouse. Okay.
Yeah. And then besides that, I also got to see how the orders are packed and then sorted through conveyor belts that run on and on. It was really like a theme park, but it's for thrill-seeking parcels instead of human.
Thrill-seeking parcels. Yes, I can see. Looks fun.
It is, it is.
Yeah.
So if you ever visit, make sure to bring a cozy jacket. The storage rooms where fresh or frozen items are kept have different temperatures. Can you imagine? It's actually 14 degrees, 8, 2,
Wow.
and also at 0 degrees.
Okay.
It is so cold over there.
Mm.
So when we step into the storage, right, our guide actually told us, "Welcome to Siberia."
Is that cool, huh?
It is that cold. So I was wearing a normal hoodie. It really wasn't too bad for me. But one of our teammates, he didn't get the note at all. So when he went into the place, he was surprised. He didn't wear any jacket. He was freezing. And then he had to keep jumping around to keep himself warm.
Noob mistake. But honestly, I don't mind the cold. I haven't traveled to a cold country in a while, so I guess I wouldn't mind.
quite
Okay?
nice.
So you told us a little bit about the route managers. So I'm just curious about once the deliveries are decided and ready for delivery, what happens next? Yeah.
So this is actually when the route manager comes in.
Okay.
They will plan the routes. Yeah. So they will be drawing it on the map using their laptops. And then during my visit, right, I found out that the current dashboard that they have does not provide them with enough information. And then the way it's designed makes them keep scrolling up and down to see the information. So in here, right, you see that there are a lot of routes and then they're handling multiple couriers.
Yeah.
It's very hard for them to compare each of the informations inside.
Right.
Yeah, in shortened words, right, it's really not a great user experience. for
Yeah,
them.
I can imagine how annoying it is to scroll up and down just to compare information. So I say if the information is vital, keep them all in one frame.
True.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
very true. Yeah.
So route managers, what about couriers?
Well, for the couriers,
Yeah.
I actually followed them and I became an assistant courier for a day.
Oh, good on you.
Yeah,
Nice.
but it's really tiring, seriously. So I went through their pain and efforts on that day itself, right? And then now imagine the shift for each trip is about 4 hours, 1 to 2 times a day. And then we have to race with time because we have about 13 customers in our trip.
Wow.
It's really a lot.
Yeah.
And then the maximum load can reach as high as 200 kg
200
per
kg.
customers. Yes.
Wow.
So if you look at all these things in the picture, we have to load all these by ourselves into the van.
Oh,
So
okay.
can you imagine? We don't need to go to the gym if we keep doing this every day, you know?
Yeah, I think I can give up my gym membership altogether.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on top of that, we still have to scan the barcode on the containers and then load all the items by ourselves into the vehicle, right? So we need to arrange it based on the delivery sequence. Yeah, it's really a lot of work before they can even like go.
Yeah.
And we still need to keep checking on the routes and optimize it on the go so that it fits traffic conditions on the ground. For example, there's a traffic jam that time when I went with the courier. And
Oh
then,
no.
yeah,
Traffic jam.
correct. And then we need to reroute our trip altogether. So it kind
Ah.
of messes up, the whole flow of the route,
Right.
right?
That-
So
That sounds like a lot of unforeseen circumstances, right? That might lead to
is.
possible delays and problems in delivery.
right.
Man.
Yeah, so that might be a reason why your deliveries are late.
Yeah.
Because this happens all the time.
It
and
happens, yeah.
We cannot foresee this.
Mm.
Yeah. So There's also one point of time I encountered an unhappy customer because there were some missing items in her delivery.
Right.
Yeah, so the customer wasn't too pleased about it. Well, obviously, but the courier who has been working with us for 5 years, I think he's like the best.
Very pro.
Yeah, he's very pro. He's
Right.
really, really professional.
Nice.
He handled her very nicely with a lot of tact. So I asked him, like, how do you do this every time?
Yeah.
Because it will always happen, right?
Mm.
Well, he told me, you need to understand and put yourself in their shoes. You can apologize, they will still be unhappy, but it is very important to focus on the next step instead of worrying or getting upset about the whole situation.
Yeah, that is very humbling.
It is. I learned a lot from him. Yeah.
I'm sure these experiences also help you understand in your entire design process. Did it help you add more value into the final design solution?
Yeah, definitely. So by observing their journey, I identified their pain points. And then for them, I found out there are two things that matters the most, which are speed and accuracy. So for the couriers, I realized our couriers really have to scan tons of barcodes on the containers. So we focus our efforts on reducing both scanning and loading speed. As for the accuracy, sometimes there are no internet connection and the GPS access, especially when they go into basement parking lots, right?
That's right.
Yeah, sometimes it becomes quite unstable.
Right.
So by providing offline support, we allow them to complete their tasks even without internet.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it is. For the route managers, it's a bit different because they're not working on the ground. They're working in the office, right? We improved the route management page design by streamlining the information into one viewable frame, allowing them to scan and compare the information on each route more efficiently.
Right.
So in here, instead of just having one big map, you can already compare the information on each of the routes on the right side of the screen, as well as looking at the summary of all the tasks on top.
Yeah, this looks so much neater and clearer. I can definitely tell the improvements.
Thanks. So from here also, I realized that all our logistics workers generally appreciate basic layout efficiency in the design more than any fancy icons or graphics.
Quite right. Because in the current competitive e-commerce landscape, it is really important to build products that caters to our logistic workers as they will be the one using it every day. The core value has to revolve around the empathy. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true. So that way, they can also perform well in their tasks, and our customers can also feel their positive attitude coming from the delivery guys.
Yeah.
So this would also build a long-lasting relationship between our products and the users.
Well, Steph, I couldn't have said it better. Thanks for sharing all these invaluable experiences with us.
Sure, no problem. It's my pleasure.
All right, I'll catch you later.
Yep,
right?
sure.
Okay.
See you.
Today's online shoppers aren't as patient as they used to be. And increasingly, they don't need to be. A report shows that almost 6 in 10 buyers say they browse for products based on their preferred shipping options. And 1 in 4 will buy from another retailer that offers free shipping, even if the product costs slightly more. On top of shipping it free, it needs to be shipped fast, shipped accurately, and all these can only be made possible with a team of dedicated logistics workers we have. So kudos to all of them. Attracting online shoppers doesn't stop at just shipping alone, of course. We are constantly finding ways to add values to the app experience to appeal to more people. Localization of certain app features is another way we try to offer more values to our customers. And to share with us, I have my final guest today, Sandy. Sandy, come join me.
Hello everybody. Hello Jayson.
Hey.
Thanks for having me here. I'm Sandy, a product designer from the Deals Nearby team. Thanks for really having me today.
My pleasure.
By the way, how was your lunch?
My lunch. It was great. I used the food voucher for my lunch today. I bought it off an app, and I managed to get quite a good deal for a cheap and nutritious meal.
Nice. I have another recommendation for you right here on Lazada.
Okay.
We have a channel here in Singapore where you can find F&B deals nearby. It's called Deals Nearby. One of the more newer offerings here we have on Lazada, which we built with users like yourself in mind. Be it an office worker looking to get a quick lunch or a foodie explorer just wanting to pay less for food.
Well, sounds like me. I'm an office worker, I'm a food explorer, but you mentioned built for users like myself in mind. You care to elaborate a little bit more?
I mean, it's exactly like yourself. It's our local users. So as Deals Nearby is a hyper-localized feature, we have particularly consulted our local users through interviews to find out how they approach their F&B purchases online and offline. So we also conducted usability testing at a very early stage on our prototype phase that helped us to shape the channel, such as the categories of food offerings and other areas of the user experience that users particularly look out for.
Well, Deals Nearby sounds like a really handy feature to have. Did you get to speak directly with these users? Because, due to the pandemic and all, I'm sure it was quite a challenge. Share with us what you found out.
Yep. So we have both moderated, unmoderated interviews. So moderated interviews is really where we talk to the users itself. But we also have unmoderated user testing so that we can see what users really do when there is no one really watching or guiding them through, just to see what are their reactions. So we have mainly found a few things. So firstly, we most of us, I think you and I as well, we are both time staff. We don't got any time that takes too long to process, man. So convenience is really key, as the whole exploration, purchase, and redemption process must be fast and fast-free. So, and also they tend to look out for recognizable brand names and expect significant discount for F&B deals. Think somewhere more than 20%, yeah. Lastly, I think they look out for peer reviews and ratings, especially if the product or the brand is something new to them and they really don't have it within themselves to trust it 100% yet.
Right. That sounds about right. It seems that these location-based F&B deals are quite different from what we are used to on the Lazada app. Were there insights that surprised you?
Yeah, definitely. Arguably, the main takeaway I had when I did all this testing was that you never know what the users want until you ask them. So from our research, we found out that what was written in the fine print really matters. So it may be due to past bad experiences buying these vouchers, right, through other platforms, or the general anxiety of buying things online without seeing them. They don't want any surprises. So they will look at details such as validity, opening hours, any hidden top-ups, confirmation, and even cancellation policies in case they change their mind later. So it can get very, very specific.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. Because I found myself having to spend more time than I normally would trying to figure out how to use some of these vouchers. Because, sometimes you really have to read all the fine prints and trying to find out where it is, when I can redeem it, some terms and conditions tied to it. I really tend to give up quite easily when I'm faced with that. And so I sometimes just hand it over to the staff and ask them, why don't you redeem it for me? However, that's not ideal also given the current climate of things. I don't really want people to be touching my phone. Yeah, so not a great experience.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one. I myself also, sometimes I also get lazy. I don't really know what the store really wants from me.
Right.
So especially new stores that I've never gone to. So I sometimes I just pass over the phone. And guess what? Right, you are not the only one. Because in fact, when we check in with our merchants, they also particularly brought up how that they have challenges trying to educate our customers. So especially through the rising need of contactless transactions. So really just like how you're uncomfortable with them touching your phone, they are also uncomfortable with touching your germs.
It really does seem like every interaction has a ripple impact on both our customers and our merchants. So how is Deals Nearby working in this particular area to improve the experience?
Yeah, so after observing the user redemption flow at some of our merchant outlets in real time, we map up the necessary steps to complete the redemption process. We also have to take into account pain points both on the merchant and the customer ends, which surprisingly share a lot of dependencies. So, for example, what's easy for the customers may be very unsecure for our merchants. So, at the end, by leveraging on our customers' familiarity with common interactions like swiping to redeem, it reduces both the customers and merchants' learning curve. Allowing customers to swipe and confirm the redemption increases both parties' ease in mind during the COVID-19 endemic and pandemic previously, as it's a contactless experience. So basically, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, just to swipe and then I show it to the merchants. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
And that's really simple and effective, right? So I think it has helped both our customers and merchants. Is there anything else that you have found out while working with our merchants?
Our deals made by merchants usually provide a different set of information than our usual e-commerce merchants. So they provide things such as opening hours, any redemption instructions specific to the brand itself, and even directions to some of the more remote locations. So you think outlets that are like usually outside the big cities,
Right.
so people are not so familiar with it. So hence we really need to work very closely with our local operators to find out their needs so that they can serve our users better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, so share with us ultimately from working on this feature what you have learned.
So I think compared to all the other domains that I'm involved in, what really stood out to me working on deals nearby in particular was the need for more deeper collaboration among our design, operations, and product stakeholders. So usually each function has its own set of priorities and they don't reach consensus at the time. So we always make it a rule of thumb and make it a point to first check back with our users and really hear exactly what they say, not really like what design says or product says or operation says, but what the users really want.
Right.
And the insights gathered over the interviews as well as the unmoderated testing, as I mentioned earlier, has been extremely helpful when it comes to navigating these discussions, because at the end of the day, we all want as a team to build a product that complements with the user's life, and it's also a product that they would use and love.
That's really customer first thinking. I'm really looking forward to see the upcoming deals nearby. Is there anything that we can expect soon?
Yeah, so we have been working very, very hard to bring you the improved experience at deals nearby here in Singapore for the March birthday campaign. So keep a lookout for that.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll catch you later. Later.
See you.
All right. You have just heard from 3 of our brightest product designers from Lazada Design Studio, sharing how users' feedback have guided how we design some of the new features across our various platforms. A keen listening to the needs of local consumers, providing the right support to our logistic workers when they need it most, and the willingness and commitment to embark on a relentless journey, improving our products to help our sellers grow. These are all valuable lessons shared by the team today. As the saying goes, today's best performance is tomorrow's baseline. Basic customer experience is no longer able to satisfy users today. We need to provide services that they desire and to ensure we keep offering more meaningful experiences. As we gradually move away from a world of lockdowns, social distancing, and working from home, the needs and wants as consumers will evolve to seek out products that aligns to their beliefs. Consumers will look for experiences that they desire that will be less compromise or settling for anything less. Here at Lazada Design Studio, we are moving in tandem with our sellers, brand partners, and users to enhance the lives of our customers and support them on their journey to become a more efficient and effective individual. It was a real pleasure to share what we have produced and delivered over countless video calls discussion. So before we wrap, I'm going to invite Leo, Stephanie, and Sandy back to answer some of the questions that you guys have been posting and hope that we could clear your doubts about some of the points that was raised. All right, so come on back, guys. Let's share. Oh, wait, let me put on my masks because we are going to be standing really close. All right, cool. So now I'm just going to read through some of the questions that came through. Are you guys still hearing me all right? I hope I can still be heard over my mask. Okay, so we are all in place. All right, all right, okay, we're all good. All right, let me look at some of the questions. All right, so here's an interesting one. I believe it is for Sandy. Sandy, you mentioned hyper localization in deals nearby, but products featured seem to be only involving F&B deals. Are there anything else that deals nearby offers? Wow. Okay, people want more.
Yeah. Actually, we do have more than just F&B deals. So if everybody that's watching right now, you can go on the Lazada app and check the deals nearby channel. We have other types of deals like beauty and wellness. So think like massages and like hair treatments and stuff, as well as certain activities and even some hotel packages that are on there. So, but now we are currently just focusing on deals on F&B deals because it's something that users use multiple times a day. So we want to kind of build up this lifestyle with deals nearby.
Okay. Well, I would definitely look forward to getting a staycation package on deals nearby soon.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. Now let's see, what else? Okay, there is another question here. Let me see. What are the elements of things that route managers need to take into account when creating routes? Yeah, okay, I think that's for you, Steph.
That's a very nice question, by the way. So I would say it's the time and distance, especially since, in one route, usually the delivery is at different time slots.
Okay.
So it really matters to them. And besides that, the route managers, again, they don't just handle one courier, right? So they also have to make sure that all the routes have more or less the same amount of stops, so that we make sure that it's fair for all our couriers.
Okay. So they get equal amount of things distributed to them.
That is correct.
Oh, okay.
Besides that, if let's say any of them has a breach on the time, maybe if they do this shift, they will not be able to come back on time to the warehouse, then we will also give alert to the route managers through the system that, hey, this is overloaded. You might need to separate it a little bit more.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, cool. Thanks, Stephanie.
No problem.
Let me find a question for you. There is a seller question. It's very funny. It's just asking for sellers. Can you give an example on specific things that you've discovered only after you spoke with sellers? That means after the interviews. Yeah.
Interesting. So, I think after we talked with sellers, we discovered that seller actually monitors the product quality through the product management page. This is a very contradictory with what we assumed before. So we always thought that seller used this page to either control their inventory, which is like adding or reducing stock only. But then after we learn and listen from them, they told us that it's actually to do the performance monitoring as well. So that is why in the new design, we definitely took that into account. So we try to put this simple statistics such as how many the products are being sold, and then like how many views are there for this specific products, so they can just give them like an insight on what they should do to improve their product performance.
Okay, so they can see the trend of their products and see which one to buy in more, which one to buy in less. That's pretty useful. Okay, cool.
I hope that answers the questions.
I think you did. I definitely think you did answer the question. Okay, all right. So I see there's still a lot more questions coming in. We will be happy to answer them or take them offline. These are all valuable feedbacks that we would also consider. So if you could see on the left, on the right hand side, you will see the message board. And on top of the message board, you would have a Q&A a box that you can click on and add on more of your queries. So please feel free to send them in. I think for now, this is going to be a wrap from all of us. thank you so much for joining us today, allowing us all to share with you what we've been busy with over at Lazada Design Studio. So yeah, till the next time. Thanks for joining us. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.